'cause I'm a bad, 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 I'm a bad bitch.
What's up, everyone? This is another episode of For the People in the Back podcast. I'm your host, Phoenix Diva, and call me Diva. And this is a podcast for the people who can never afford the first row, but always the standing section in the back. You are appreciated. I hope you guys had a wonderful couple of weeks. This is like my take 2 of this podcast because I had to reread my sources because I was definitely about to get this wrong. So I try to be accurate. So I didn't get too far in my first recording, but girl, I am just that person. I just want to make sure that I have the story straight before presenting anything to you guys. And before we get into this, I just want to thank everybody. This is officially episode 20. So shout out to everyone that's been listening to this podcast from the beginning. You are appreciated. I do get feedback from you guys saying that you guys do enjoy this podcast. I'm surprised that I've even made it to episode 20 because you see a lot of YouTubers that they create podcasts and they don't do it weekly. Even though I just, took a break because of vacation and stuff, but people usually don't continue with podcasts. They usually kind of stop. And for me being super small and irrelevant and having a very, very small audience, typically people like me in my situation, we would have quit at episode 5. Facts. These are facts. So, I just kind of want to give myself a little pat on the back for doing this for 20 episodes. So I'm still enjoying it. I do this for fun. So I just want to thank you guys real quickly for, riding with me and listening to the podcast after 20 freaking episodes. I can't believe it. We're on episode 20. That is absolutely insane. So shout out to you guys. Let us just get into the topic today. Last podcast, we talked about the allegations that were made against Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish by Jane and John Doe. And I read the whole article to you guys on the last episode. So if you guys want to re-listen to that episode, I heavily would advise it if you guys are not really if you guys don't know what this lawsuit entails. So basically what Jane and John Doe has accused Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears is that, okay, so basically what the allegations were, that Aries Spears did a inappropriate sketch with a 7-year-old who was going by John Doe, and the sketch was called Through a Pedophile's Eyes, okay? And he was doing very inappropriate things with the 7-year-old for this joke, and this was posted on a site called Funny or Die. Now, the site Funny or Die is saying that they did not know about this and that Aries Spears just uploaded this shit, and when Funny or Die found out about it, they deleted the post. So this was a sketch that was on Funny or Die that Aries Spears did with a 7-year-old. And again, the sketch was called Through a Pedophile's Eyes, so you guys can kind of imagine all the inappropriate shit that was done. But like I said, I read the whole thing, or what was in the article on the previous podcast, if you guys are interested in knowing the details. And Haddish, she was accused of having Jane do a whole fellatio thing with a sandwich, and was teaching the young girl how to eat the sandwich in a very suggestive sexual way. So the lawsuit's pretty much fucked. It's fucked. And this is not the first time that this lawsuit has happened. It happened back in 2019, I believe, and it just didn't go anywhere. I don't know exactly what happened, but it didn't go anywhere. So this time around, this suit has dropped between Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish, okay? According to the reports. So this article came out on the 22nd, which is a Thursday. So let's read. The woman who accused comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears of sexually harassing and abusing her and her brother as children has filed to dismiss the lawsuit. according to documents from the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California obtained by the Washington Post. The anonymous plaintiff, Jane Doe, who filed the lawsuit on August 30th on behalf of her and her brother, John Doe, who is still a minor, requested Tuesday to dismiss the claim with prejudice, which means the case cannot be refiled. Which, if you want to know what day that was, it was the 20th, okay? So we're still within the week, right? We're still within this week. So a lot happened this week. In a statement to TMZ the same day, Jane Doe said that her family had known Tiffany Haddish for many years. We now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best, and we are glad that we can all put this behind us. She did not mention Spears. On Wednesday, which, by the way, I have a theory about that, but I don't want to skip ahead. Okay? On Wednesday, Haddish told a TMZ photographer at Los Angeles International Airport that she was relieved by the dismissal. The actress, who said she does not speak to Spears, said her biggest concern throughout the process was the kids, making sure they're okay. When asked about what the lawsuit ending might mean for her career, Haddish told another TMZ photographer that she lost everything after the allegations came out and that she did not know what the future held. All my gigs gone, she said. Everything gone. I don't have no job.
Period. Dot.
Okay, so this is the thing that I feel. The kid saying this. We now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best and are glad that we can all put this behind us. So again, these are claims about being sexually inappropriate with children. Okay, this was the lawsuit. And the kids are now, well, they're not kids. One is not a kid. The other one is still a minor. Jane is 22. The other one is still a minor. John is. Okay. So Jane is saying this. So Jane is basically saying that we feel like that Tiffany would never harm children. Okay. Then she goes to TMZ and said her biggest concern throughout the process was the kids, making sure they're okay. Now notice they keep on saying kids. Besides the allegation of like doing sexual, like explicit things with children is absolutely disgusting and should be condemned, right? Besides that, right? Which that is important. This is the thing that some of y'all might not know. Tiffany Haddish was the host for Kids Say the Darnest Things.
Oh, hell no!
Now, the show has not been picked up again, right? But Kids Say the Darnest Things is literally the host, and they interview kids, and kids say funny things. So if you are someone that's being accused of being sexually inappropriate with kids or doing just blatantly inappropriate shit, right? And basically you now have an image of, I don't want my kids around you because you're going to teach my kid how to like suck some dick with a Subway, or you're going to take a fucking 7-year-old to be alone with Aries Spears to do God knows what. Okay, so when you have that claim over you, I'm sorry, networks. If you ever hire this woman with a child, you're fucking dumb. You're fucking dumb. You're dumb. And that's, again, this is just how I feel. This is how I feel. I feel like you're dumb. Because of this lawsuit and the details of what I was reading it, no, I'm not comfortable with Tiffany Haddish around children. I'm not, because that's my opinion, and that I got that opinion from the article I read, okay? And definitely for damn sure not Aries Spears. Definitely for damn sure, because to me, there's something wrong with him. There's a tick in there. It's that he does not understand the boundaries of, yes, this idea is funny in my head, but should I do this to a fucking 7-year-old? Like, you could have got somebody that was a goddamn adult to do this sick joke, right? Because at the end of the day, if you feel like pedophile jokes are funny, that's on you. I'm not going to sit here and tell and dictate what you can and cannot feel like that's funny. I could just disagree with you on it, because I don't want you to come over here with me saying like, oh, Diva, you shouldn't find this funny. Like, no, bitch, you need to mind your own fucking business. I will hee hee and ha ha about what the fuck I want. You go hee hee and ha ha in the privates on your own home.
Period. Dot.
Okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. Okay? You do you over there, away the fuck away from me. Okay? That's how I feel. Now, obviously, I don't like no nasty shit, but if you guys understand what I'm laying down, you guys know what I mean by what you do at your homes is what you do at your homes. Obviously, I'm not advocating for someone to do some illegal, nasty shit, right? Obviously not.
Clap if you understand what I'm saying.
But the case is that if you found that as something funny, right? If Aries Spears found this was fucking funny, then why couldn't you find somebody that was, I don't know, an adult to do this with? Not a fucking 7-year-old. Fucking creep. I feel like you're a creep. That's how I feel. So yeah. So Tiffany Haddish is saying that she doesn't have any jobs. Okay? And like I said, if kids say the darndest things, I'm telling you, if you put her back on as host, you are a dumbass. I honestly feel like you should put Kenan Thompson, because Kenan Thompson has been killing it lately. And, you know, he was on all that. We know him, right? We know him. He's been involved with different projects of Nickelodeon lately. I think he was involved with the reboot of all that. So, put Kenan Thompson. Did I say Nick Cannon? If I said Nick Cannon, I'm sorry. I meant Kenan Thompson. I don't know. I'm going to have to re-listen to this. But if I said Nick Cannon, I didn't mean Nick Cannon. I meant Kenan Thompson. Which I know that Nick Cannon has done shit for Nickelodeon. I don't know. I just feel like Nick Cannon, Nick Cannon, you could do it. Kenan Thompson, you could do it. There's just plenty of people I would feel comfortable doing Kids Say the Darndest Things if they decide to reboot it. I would even allow Will Smith to do it, to be honest with you.
Whatever that means.
But, Tiffany, hell no. And also, Kids Say the Darndest Things, the people over there. I know you're having a rough time, because you had Tiffany Haddish as a host, and before that, for the people that don't know, Bill Cosby used to be the host for Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yes. Kids Say the Darndest Thing has a pattern, which I think is an unintentional pattern. I'm hoping that Kids Say the Darndest Things is an unintentional pattern, but there's a pattern. There is a pattern. So let's get back to this article. Representatives for Haddish, Spears, and the Does did not respond to requests for comment from the Post. The lawsuit alleged that Haddish and Spears forced Jane to mimic a sexually suggestive video of two people eating a Subway sandwich while the then 14-year-old was attending a comedy camp in 2013. The lawsuit claimed Haddish coached the minor in giving simulated fellatio while Spears watched, and that the experience made Jane physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable. The lawsuit also alleged that Haddish and Spears coerced John, then 7, to filming an explicit sketch titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes, through which, according to court documents, he said he was molested by Spears, who lusted over him in the video. Stills from the video, which were introduced in the lawsuit, show close-up shots of the child's body and Spears touching John suggestively. The video appeared on the Funny or Die website afterwards. In a statement shared with the Post after the lawsuit was filed, Funny or Die wrote that the company found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We're not involved with the conceptualization. Okay, yeah, I said that. Development, funding, or production of this video. It was updated to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018, immediately after becoming aware of this existence. The lawsuit claimed the siblings were told that appearing in these sketches would help them get roles on television. Girl, Kids Say the Darndest Things. T. Even though this was way before Kids Say the Darndest Thing, but still, that's a whole tea session. Spears, a stand-up comedian, is best known for his run from 1997 to 2005 on the Fox sketch comedy show Mad TV. Haddish, who was a regular on The Carmichael Show and has appeared in movies such as Can You, became famous for a breakout role in 2017 movie Girls Trip. Court's document claimed that when the plaintiff saw Haddish partake in a similar simulated oral sex scene in Girls Trip, it unlocked a repressed memory and led her to realize the severity of what happened to her. Yeah, that's the thing they keep on saying, that like that is Tiffany Haddish's gag, is eating shit like it's oral sex. Like that's apparently Tiffany Haddish's gag. That she eats sex, like she's not eats sex. That she eats shit like she's sucking dick. Apparently that's her shtick. That's what she does. Okay, that's what she does. A few days after the August court filing, Haddish expressed remorse in a post on Instagram. Clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it, she wrote. After news of dismissal Tuesday, Spears celebrated on Instagram in a post that also prompted one of his podcast episodes. So there's that. So let's go back on the timeline. So this article came out on the 22nd. News of this started going out on the 21st, okay? So let's go back in the handy dandy calculator. Now, according to the Washington Post, they are saying that the lawsuit was dismissed, okay, on Tuesday. On Tuesday. That's what it says on this article, okay? That date was the 20th, okay? Now, here's the tea. Here's the tea. Now, and I have these receipts on the Google Slides. Please click the link in the description. It will give you everything that I'm saying, and it's backing up everything I'm saying, okay? So back in September 19th, so this is the day before, the Washington Post is saying that there was a dismissal, right? Radar Online came with an article stating, Tiffany Haddish reaches deal with alleged sexual assault victims to seal photos in court war as accusers demand settlement talks. Yes. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, you guys. So no, this shit was not dismissed because they're all like, oh, Auntie Tiffany is so nice to me, blah, blah, blah. According to Radar Online, the day before, they reported that Tiffany Haddish paid them off. And guess what? I believe it. I believe it. Because from get-go, this was about money. And it was about money so they could go get the therapy and the medical treatments that they needed to get over this trauma. Now, I'm not saying that these people, again, how I feel, I don't feel that these people were just trying to go after Tiffany's money. That's not how I feel. I feel like they wanted money so they could go to therapy, get diagnosed, and get on medication if need be. For people that don't understand, mental health, going to a psychiatrist, going to a psychologist, going to a therapist, that shit isn't cheap. Motherfuckers want to say all day, every day, go to better help, blah, blah, blah. If you look at that motherfucker, it's hundreds of dollars a month. All these things are hundreds of dollars, okay? The therapy I go through, bitch, it's not cheap. And I have health insurance. Imagine if you don't have good health insurance that covers this therapy. I know a friend of mine, they didn't have the right health insurance, and they were paying $200 per session.
Damn!
Per session to go and get some fucking help. Okay? So people need to stop acting like getting therapy and getting on these prescription meds so you can walk out your fucking door is fucking free. No, it's not. It's expensive as shit. So no, I don't have an issue or a problem that these kids are trying to get some fucking money so they can go get some fucking help. The fuck? You're trying to sit here and try to tell me that I'm supposed to expect a 22-year-old to go pay for their own mental health and their own little brother's mental health shit? Like what I read on the last podcast, the kid is so fucking paranoid that he goes and puts Band-Aids all over the place and starts covering cameras because he's scared of being watched. The boy needs help. The boy wants help. So if this is true and Tiffany paid them off, thank you, bitch. Thank you, bitch. Let them go get some fucking help. Where the fuck was this energy back in 2019, Tiffany? The fuck? I believe it was 2019 where the mother tried to sue. I could be wrong, but I did say, I don't know the exact year, so don't come for me. Go listen to the other podcast. Okay? So let's read this shit from Radar. Tiffany Haddish reaches deal with alleged sexual assault victims to seal photos in court war as accusers demand settlement talks. Again, I don't have a problem with this. The fuck? Why would I have a problem with this? Tiffany Haddish and the two alleged victims who sued for her sexual assault have reached a deal to block the public from seeing the original complaint. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the comedian and the two accusers suing her and Aries Spears worked out agreement privately. As Radar Online previously reported earlier this month, Haddish and Spears were sued by siblings who used the synonyms John and Jane Doe. The two said their mother was friends with Haddish for most of their life. In 2013, they said a thin 14-year-old Jane and a thin 7-year-old John were used by Haddish in skits she filmed. The siblings said Haddish told their mom she was taking them to auditions when in reality she was having them film skits that were sexually inappropriate. One skit was filmed called Through a Pedophile's Eyes, which featured John in the skit, the comedian, the young boy. Okay, so we kind of, Haddish moved the case from state, so we're just skipping shit, I'm sorry. Haddish moved the case from state court to federal court. The federal court officials had temporarily sealed the complaint because it contained several photographs of a minor John in an undressed state. The judge told Haddish and the accusers to tell the court if they wanted to be sealed or made public. Since John is still a minor, the parties agreed that the complaint should remain sealed because photos in the lawsuits could identify him. The full public availability of the complaint could permit public identification of plaintiff John Doe and by association plaintiff Jane Doe. Previously, Haddish's powerhouse attorney, Andrew Broder, said the alleged victim's mother had been trying to assert these bogus claims for years. But, okay, if it's bogus, then why are you paying, like, bitch? You're trying to act like y'all are like the fucking Wiz and like fucking Diana Ross saying, can't you see the brand new day? Like, y'all trying to act like that's you. It's not you. You settled. Shut up. You settled. There's receipts of this happening, you dummy. The fuck? The comedian said while the skit was intended to be funny, it wasn't funny at all. She said she deeply regretted having agreed to participate in it. So she said the shit was wrong. As Radar Online first reported, John and Jane Doe wrote a letter to the judge recently explaining they were open to talking settlement with Haddish. They said part of the deal would have to be Haddish publicly apologizing for her role in the skits. They also want her to recant her allegations. They try to shake her down with the suit. Okay? So this was reported the day before that Washington Post is saying that they submitted for the case to be dismissed. So this was reported the day before. And guess what? I believe it. I believe it. Especially since, and I have this too, especially since she is saying that she's basically lost everything. She also had a thing with Groupon. She had a thing with Groupon. So no, I honestly believe she lost everything too. I honestly believe it. I did. But here's the thing, you guys. Per BuzzFeed has a receipt, which I have it. It is a document asking for a dismissal. This action is dismissed by the plaintiff in its entirety. So there is an article, there is like a receipt from BuzzFeed with the date of September 16th, with Jane Doe signing off, saying that she wants to dismiss the case. And this was back on September 16th. So September 16th, there was a paperwork saying that she wants to dismiss the case, right? That this case is going to be dismissed. Okay, so that was on the 16th. The 19th, there was reports by Radar Online saying that there was a settlement, and then Washington Post is claiming that the case was dismissed on the 20th. Are we seeing the dots? And this is why I believe that there was a settlement. And this is why I believe that part of the settlement, for them to get their money, that they had to dismiss the case without prejudice so they can never come back after Tiffany Haddish ever again, or Aries Spears. And that the kids said, and they agreed to saying that we know that Tiffany Haddish would never do this to us. So, and in my mind, so she could get back of doing that gig with Kids Say the Darndest Things, and so she could do shit with children in the future. Because I'm sorry, if you have this over your head, that people are not going to want their children around you. But like I said, I personally wouldn't do it. That's just me. I wouldn't. That's just a personal choice of mine. It's just my opinion. And definitely, for damn sure, not Aries damn Spears. Especially when this shit is so bad that this shit has to be sealed. So people that are trying to say, this is bullshit. They just want money. Aries didn't do anything to that boy, and da-da-da-da. If the shit wasn't bad, then why can't we see it? By the way, I don't want to see it because I believe the shit was bad. I don't want to see it. I'm not into shit like that. I think that shit's disgusting and gross. Okay? But that just goes back to my point. If it didn't happen, and it wasn't that bad, and it's all bullshit, then why the fuck can we see it? We can't see it because the shit was bad. Duh. Now, here's another thing. And I try to listen to this interview. So, on September 17th, an interview dropped by this YouTuber. Link is in description. It's about 40 plus minutes long. I think, let me see. It is 48 minutes long. I tried to listen to it. And it was just... Aries just kind of came off to me that it just kind of comes off to me that it's just everybody that wants to go against him, and it was kind of like, woe is me, and everybody wants to throw him under the bus and put everything on him, and everything's his fault. So this interview posted on the 17th. Now, in this interview, I didn't finish it, but I'm pretty sure they weren't going to talk about the lawsuit. Because in the interview, the guy said, I know you said that you don't want us to talk about certain things, and we agreed on it, and I'm pretty sure it's about this lawsuit. So if we're going down the timetable, right? So this interview posted on the 17th. Now, I don't know when they did this interview, but it was posted on the 17th. The 16th, Jane Doe filed for the lawsuit to be dismissed. That's what the signature date was. That she signed it on the 16th. So on the 16th, she signed it. Now, maybe it became official on the 20th, but the documents do say September 16th. So if this was posted on the 17th, then Aries Spears knows that this lawsuit was going to be dismissed because Jane Doe signed off asking for it to be dismissed. So Aries Spears, at this point of time, I can assume, knew that this lawsuit was going to go away. Also, Tiffany Haddish is saying that she doesn't talk to Aries Spears anymore and just basically threw him under the bus. It kind of makes me wonder who really paid. I don't know what Aries Spears' pocketbook looks like, but a couple of months ago, Tiffany Haddish was talking about how much money she had when a reporter said, did you do a costume change? And she was like, this is what money looks like, and blah, blah, blah. I got this from the runway, da, 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 da. So Tiffany Haddish basically is portraying someone who has money. So I'm starting to believe that Tiffany was the one that paid off those kids and not really Aries. I can just really see Aries was just kind of sitting on his ass saying, I don't have it. Now, I'm not saying he's broke, but I'm just saying I could kind of see him being that kind of person saying, I don't have it. You just gonna have to sue me and win and get nothing because I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't even remember reading reports of Aries even getting a lawyer. Now, if he got a lawyer, okay, great. I just don't remember seeing it. I just remember seeing Tiffany's lawyer, but not, his lawyer. So, my final thoughts about this whole situation is, if the victims, if they got what they needed from settling, good for them. Good for them. I'm glad that you feel like, allegedly, if you did settle, okay? According to reports, you did settle, allegedly. If you did settle, I hope you got what you feel like you needed to close this chapter. I'm happy for you. I am. I truly, truly am. And I hope you get the medical attention that you need. Now, Tiffany and Aries, I can't look at y'all the same. I can't. I just can't. That's just me. I can't. I'm done. I read that article a couple weeks ago, and I'm still disgusted by it. Nothing you can say to me is going to make me change my mind on it, to be honest with you. So I'm just kind of, I'm still in the same place. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm just still in the same position and place about how I felt the last time I did this podcast. Nothing has really changed. But that's where we are. It's Hollywood, baby. If you have the money, if you have the power, you can get away with murder, allegedly. But that's how we're going to end our podcast today. Thank you so much for supporting me. I can't believe we're at episode 20. This is like fucking amazing and it's fucking dope. But I will see you guys the next time. Peace.